Would you like to introduce yourself to let the listeners know, because the listeners listening from all over the world and all over England at the moment to you? Can you just introduce yourself and give them a brief synopsis of exactly who you are and what you do?
Lini Maponga uzijena mara shigara mboko gara mashamba huda. Tirana wana wewanji makumbe mwana musende weshana chikuchitedza chinokugwana namanga wari pedandamba nacho. Nambori paro ware wiramiti yasose. Tiri mangoro na wapuri vayo. Karamba kurima wakarima wanochema newe. You want me to introduce myself? That's a difficult task for me to do that. If I should do that, then I'll throw all of you. It's polite for you to do that. Because if I should introduce myself, even you will be confused yourself.
Oh.
Oh, well, well, just try and cut it short then. You know what I mean? I
Well,
could.
you're asking me to do something from the royal house, which I cannot do.
All right.
But I give you some leeway to do that. But I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't tell the people what you want them to know about me. You invited me on your show. You know me. You tell them what you want to tell them, who you think I am, and I'll take it from there.
All
If
right.
I should introduce myself, the whole conversation will go to the bush.
Okay.
All right, Sister LP, I'll pass that over to you then.
Okay. In this short 5 minutes that we have quickly, we are speaking with His Royal Highness, our dear brother, Joshua Maponga. And many of you may have seen videos on YouTube where he is speaking so much sense, so much knowledge, so much wisdom for us, both of African descent and of the diaspora, but we're all of African descent, for melanated people to come together and to remember who we are, to empower ourselves through our spirituality and through our liberty as one. Brother, it is fantastic to have you here with us. I know that I spoke to you briefly earlier on, and we had a quick conversation about names, and you were talking about control. You mentioned that those who have power, those who name us, have the power to control us. Would you just be able to, in a very short amount of time, just explain that, and then we can go to break, and then we'll come back and do the full interview?
The arrogance of the colonialist is to find people in the residence and view them as obliterate and non-existent, and insert his history on a people that is existent. It's now our time to tell the people that have been named and those that have named them that we've been here millions of years before they came.
Yes.
And that sounds like arrogance, but that's the reality. Thank you.
Yes. And it's the truth that is often hidden from us, because if we knew who we were, they wouldn't be able to control us. They control us from our ignorance. They control us through...
We've always known who we are. It is the academic arrogance of education that then makes you forget who you are. You can't tell me that you come into my village and you give me a name as if I was born and I was not there until you arrived. What's your name? My name is Ropafadzo, which means the universe has blessed me. No, your name is no longer Ropafadzo. Your name is now Mary, or your name is now Blessing.
Yes.
How does that work? That you take away from me a name of grace and power to make it a white name. So this awakening for me has to do with, there's nothing wrong with our language or naming and etc. It is as spiritual as the colonialists that try to take that away from us. I thank you.
Okay. And in doing so, we find that those of the diaspora are maybe further removed. We are coming together. We are being enlightened. We are awakening from a deep slumber. so many of our melanated brothers and sisters. So when we come back from the break, we can have more of a conversation about how we can work together as one. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome back to PassionRadioUK.com. Yeah, we've had a bit of a mishap today, but everything's back on schedule, right? We've got our brother live with us, our brother, His Royal Highness Joshua Maponga. All right, he's actually promoting
Maponga,
African Liberation Day, and he'll be taking part in Bristol, Manchester, Birmingham, and London. Sister LP, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
It's Maponga, not Mapongo. If you can pronounce Schwarzenegger and Hartdorf, you can't fail to pronounce Maponga as an African. Come on, you can do better than that. You can Mapongo.
Oh, God.
Maponga.
All right. Sister LP, you take over. He cutting me up here.
Will do.
Ma is my mother. Ponga is knowledge and wisdom of healing and etc. So you want to say Mapongo, it becomes irrelevant.
English is not my language, brother.
The consonant.
Yeah, English is not my language. My language was taken away from me, so I have difficulty pronouncing my native language. Anyway, let's get on. Sister LP, take over.
Okay. So it's a pleasure speaking with you, and I could ask you questions about our names for the rest of the show, because I know that the name is important. We are given a name, but that is from a system that has no foundation, no history, no grounding when it comes to melanated people. Would you suggest then that we search for an African name, or seek to be given an African name, brother?
He who names you controls you. Because there's power in names. Because after names are rituals and connectivity to the value of those names. I still use the name Joshua, not for its etymological importance, but for my historical connection to my grandfather who used that name. And the name itself has to do with migration, movement, transformation, changing a people from a wilderness mindset into a promised land. So by name, I've actually deliberately kept it. Though it's colonial, but I'm not keeping it for the colonial value that it has. But for the spiritual vortex that it carries, that I am responsible for a migration of a people from a wilderness of ignorance, a wilderness of lost culture, a wilderness of lost rituals. And we need to cross the rivers of Jordan, as it were, into the promised land, which is the reality of our identity. I've had 1,000 comments telling me, throw away that name Joshua. Throw away that name Joshua. But as a theologian, I've looked at that as a connecting cable between me and the Christian community. That the name is not just a name. It is actually a vortex of connection. Wow. Using the pedagogy from the known to the unknown. So I will use what you know to lead you to what that you don't know. So names are important because names are spells. Names are spells.
From what you have just said about your name, Maponga, and your name, Joshua, it seems that you're living up to your calling, which is to lead people, enlighten people, guide people to enlightenment. Would you say that's what your calling is, brother?
When you name your children, you must know that you are predicting their destiny.
Yes.
As such, when I was born, my mother tells me, my grandfather picked up my name and he said, he will be Joshua also. So my name is not Joshua, I'm Joshua also. So
Okay.
in the likeness of Joshua, I should fulfill my mission for life.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for explaining that to us. I'm a great believer in the importance of names. I believe that they do carry a vibration. I've never thought of it as a vortex, so I will be giving that more thought. We were speaking as well about the tapestry. Whilst we were on the break, we were speaking briefly. My question was going to be about our African spirituality and the relevance that it has for us today from the diaspora. Can you speak more about how important it is? Because I know that you came away from the Christian faith, didn't you?
Any African person who says they don't do African culture is a liar. Because after you say you don't do African culture, then why do you have a white wedding? If the white wedding is not Western culture.
Oh.
I don't do African culture, then why is your dressing like that? If that's not Western dressing. I don't do African tradition and African culture, but why are you eating pizzas? Is that not Italian? I don't do African culture, but your entertainment and your medicine is controlled by the European. So culture is an integral part of human survival. There's no way you can extract yourself and remove yourself from cultural practices. It's either you are doing your culture or doing the culture of your oppressor.
Okay, okay. And we are moving towards more doing our own native or authentic, innate African culture. I was asking you before whether there is one African spirituality or if each country on the continent has its own spirituality.
Continent is connected by rivers, by trees, and by the air that we breathe. Each culture, like Kandinsky, those of you who are more into art, like tapestry of art, where all threads come together. It is in the exploration of the variety of cultures that you find the common denominator that connects all Africans together. We are not separate.
Yeah.
We just have all kept a piece of this divinity or divine being in each culture. So the Nyami Nyami, for example, in the Zambezi River of the Victoria Falls, Mosia Twinya, they call them Nyami Nyami. In the lower basin, we call him Zame, which is Yame, Nyame. In Ghana, 4,000 kilometers from here, they call him Gai Nyame. And you wonder, how is the Nyame of Ghana linked up to the Nyame of Zambezi? And then you say Africans are different. We're not different. We're just experiencing and expressing the divine energy as to the spaces we're now living in. So Zame, Nyame, Gai Nyame, Nyami Nyame, Onkopon, Onyame, Kwame, would all actually be talking of the same thing. It's just different languages. And bearing in mind that our totemic connection supersedes our surnames and colonial naming of each other. So the African spirituality, what makes it so unique, it's not a religion, but an expression of a people's spirituality within their system level, their environment of existence. So that those that are next to the mountains will do their spiritualities with the mountains, like in Kenya, Embo, Wagwaruguru, Waruguru, Embo, and Wanjiru being maternal. You come further down to those that are in the sea. We'll
Right.
call them the Shengetwas, the gods of the oceans, the dolphins,
Wow.
the keepers of ancient knowledge. You go to those that are in the mountains or in the rivers, and then when you connect all that, I think that is genius of our generation, where through education we are now able to put these pieces together and actually begin to develop a philosophy and understanding. If for practical reasons we develop a theology, and I'm using that word theology only in that context, that we begin to interpret our interaction with the divinity within our present space of environment. So in the desert, rain becomes important. Hence, Ra, Pula, Aine. So that's the most thing that we want. Therefore, ceremonies of rainmaking are more important. But when you get to Congo, where it rains every day,
Wow.
rain is not an issue. We don't have to pray for rain. It will rain tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. It's raining.
Wow.
And our knowledge then moves over into the herbs, the plants, and etc. You move into Ethiopia, you move into Egypt, you move into Benin. So each environment and community interprets the concept of the divinity within its own environment, so as to speak to the divine that is present. The biggest word we can actually use is actually called, write that word down. It's entitled Mabele Made. Mabele Made.
Mabele Mad.
Mabele, it's feminine. Mabele, those are the plural breasts on a woman.
Oh.
And Mabele Made means the long breasts. And Mabele Made means that the person across the river breastfed on the same breast that you breastfed on across the other river.
Wow.
So rivers have separated us, but our mother is the same.
Yep. Okay. I'm writing that down.
And from that concept, you can get to Uganda and the Nkima, which is the great monkey, which is in the Egyptian concept, in the Uganda, in the Kenyan, Tanzania. By the time you come to Malawi, it's the Piri. You get to Zimbabwe, it is Mkanya. You get to Botswana, it is Kabo. You get to Swaziland, it is Fakudze Mtolo. You get to South Africa, it is Osana. You get to Lesotho, it's Mtweneng. You get to KwaZulu Natal, it's called Kosa, it is Faku, Jambase, Lisa, and all of them are talking of the great Rafiki, the baboon, the monkey. So actually our totemic connection is superior to our linguistic differences. Sibanda, which is the lion, is Banda in Malawi.
Okay.
It is Shumba in Zimbabwe, Nsibande in South Africa, Sibande, Mungonyama. From Kenya coming down, the lion is the crocodile, which is the Mukwena, the Ngwenya, the Kwena, right up into the Guinea and the Papua New Guinea and the islands, right up into Australia. And those islands where people tattoo themselves with crocodiles.
Yeah.
These are the Ngwenyas. And then you will begin to understand the trees are our totems. The birds are our totems. The flowers are our totems. The Red Indians will have the eagle. And the eagle in Zimbabwe is the Ungwes. Chatibugege, the rulers of the airspace. So when you look into that context, you find that the African family is actually one family, and one of our biggest cords that joins us together are these totems. And whether you are Negro, Black American, etc., that is one thing that you lost. And if you look around your life, the animals that attract you, the dreams that you have, and your inclinations, let me use a proper English word, your proclivities towards certain animals actually tell you of the intrinsic connection that you have to the ground earth African identity which you possess. And this is knowledge that is encoded in your DNA.
Yes.
You may think that it's your character, it's your temperament. I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like. But when you look deeper into that, actually your totem is looking in front of you every day. So the African nation, the black people have never been separate. We have been connected in the spiritual world. And the physical world and politics has separated us. But that which joins us together is this totemic connectivity. In that we actually can identify each other and avoid, of course, close crossbreeding, as it speaks to the broader crossbreeding. And that is also a medical science which has not been explored in terms of avoiding duplication of weak genes and etc., which we have used. So it's a biological thing, it's a historical thing, it's a conservation thing, and development without ecological intelligence is destruction. I thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can I just put in there, sister?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Go on.
Yeah, no, the brother, I listened to the brother and sister Shanisha's show, and he touched on something about our birthdays not actually being our birthdays, and how it's a 9-month cycle. Can you expand on that for me, please, brother, so that the listeners can understand that, because I have never heard that before.
I mean, if you spend 9 months on your mother's womb, in your mother's womb, and by the way, your first citizenship is not the country where you are living now. Your first citizenship is in your mother's womb. That's your first country that you arrived into this world. And you spent 9 months in that country. Then why do you celebrate your birthday every 12 months? When actually your cycle is in 9 months. Let me not get into the politics of that, but the advantage of you celebrating your birthdays or your return days in the cyclical fashion of your formation allows your birthday to move into seasons. One birthday is in summer, one birthday is in winter, one birthday is in autumn, one birthday is in spring. That allows you also to be a gatekeeper on the windows of time, so that you don't lock yourself in the Greco-Roman pagan calendar of 12 months, which throws you out of circulation. For crying out loud, you can only celebrate that birthday once every 4 years. That's when you fall in the same season. But otherwise, you must move with your time. And having said that, I can ask all of you on the station, all of you are listening, since you were 9 months in your mother's womb, and you are celebrating your birthday every 12 months, where are you stealing the other 3 months from? And having answered that question, how old are you? Thank you.
Well, I will let you know that our brother 45 isn't actually 45. He's 74 years old. So we've worked that out in alignment with what you taught on our sister Shanice's show. So on the 12-monthly cycle, he believes himself to be 67, but in reality he is 74. And I believe myself to be 47 in alignment with the Gregorian calendar, but I am in fact 52, and I look good for it. But coming back to what you were saying about
you're not as young as you think you are, isn't it?
Yeah, I am gracefully beautiful at a more advanced age.
And what that does then in African epistemologies or African science and knowledge is that the rites of passage are not Greco-Roman punctuated, but no. they are actually connected to your seasonal, or what I might want to call your cosmological age. So you might have what you call a colonial age, but you also have what I want to term for tonight. The first time you are going to hear it on the internet, your cosmological age.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Cosmological age and colonial age. Right. Okay. Cosmicology. Okay. I wanted to go back, to this that you're speaking of, with regards to us identifying ourselves and knowing ourselves. We recognize each other because our skin is different to everybody else. And despite how old we believe colonially, we don't age like everybody else. We seem to delay our aging. Many people can't guess how old we are because of the melanin, because of our spiritual technology. What would you say is the reason for this?
With good health, we actually regenerate rather than degenerate.
Okay.
Our stomachs are full of food, but empty of health.
Yeah.
So we look our age because of what we have been feeding ourselves with.
Okay.
But if you go back to a more organic diet, the African skin does not age. It matures.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And with that in mind, I would like to ask you a question about the uprising that is going on with our darling brother Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. He is considered young and he is making such change on the whole continent. In fact, he has made change all over the earth. Where would you say that this is a spiritual war that's taking place and that he perhaps is a spiritual leader?
When a bomb or a landmine is left on the land, it does not lose its potency because it's in the ground. It will still explode. Even 10, 15, 20 years later.
Wow.
The seed, the tree, and the fruit are the same, but they are different. They carry within each other the components of uniqueness that connect them to the similitude of who they are. A guava seed or a mango seed will maintain within itself what it is made out of. The revolution of Africa, the death of Gaddafi, Sankara, Magufuli, Kwame Nkrumah, Robert Mugabe, Sobukwe in South Africa. The liberation and the struggle is the same. It just changes bodies as to who is ready to implement the changes. As such, Ibrahim Traore is an incarnate.
Yes.
Of the very knowledge system, the very theories and truth that have been killed and destroyed by our enemies. And to kill us, the colonialists has used some of us to kill each other.
Yes.
Ibrahim Traore is an incarnate of what Africa can do for herself.
Yes.
He has become a benchmark on African politics. as to what can we do as Africans to restore our dignity. I did a write-up this morning on my Facebook page where I outlined that if you want to know the value of an African, then calculate the number of trees on the continent. Calculate the fresh water on the continent. Give me value of that.
Okay.
Calculate the land on the continent. Give me value of that. Calculate the minerals on the continent. All of them. Oil, gold, platinum, uranium. Give me value of that. Calculate the human resource on the continent. Give me value of that. Calculate our oceans. Give me value of that. Calculate our air, space, and potential of technologies in the air.
Yeah.
Give me value of that. Add all those values together. Divide by 1.8 million. You will know the value of an African child in dollars.
Wow.
Had our presidents known that the people they call their citizens are of such value, the question is, how much worth would we put on our people?
It's very interesting that you say that, because other people seem to know our worth to the point where they say that our skin is worth more than gold. And yet,
even when they say African is poor, it must be put in context. Poor in what? In melanin? Poor in melanin? Poor in resources?
no way.
Poor in what? So define for me. You are in the Western world. When they say the dark continent of Africa, tell me which continent in the world has more sunshine in the world than Africa. We are poor in what?
Well, if it wasn't for Africa, the rest of the world would not exist. It's simply...
Abraham Traore highlighted a few days ago that actually the Western world cannot be arrogant because we're actually feeding them.
Yeah.
The food, the minerals, we are lighting up their houses with gas. We are actually responsible for their industrialization. The minerals that are running. I worked in London, by the way, when I was there in Luton.
Oh, okay.
While we were making some unique instruments for the ships and what, some specialized tools. What almost made me fall off my chair was that the minerals I was using for making the bolts and nuts in that industry, the steel was coming from Zimbabwe and from South Africa. So
right.
How can we be saying Africa is poor when actually the industries of Europe and America are actually African products? So if Africa closes the products, how will the industries work in Europe? They will close down.
They would all close down. Yeah. And yet, whilst they were raping and pillaging the continent, they were showing us images of famine, war, pestilence, starvation, you know? And this led to a big division between the diaspora and those of the continent. They
painted that picture so that you in diaspora will not desire to come back home.
Yeah.
Because if Africa should unite and we work together, we may actually isolate and destroy the Western civilization, what they call civilization. I call it incivility. But that's for another day. But if Africa can come together, the Western economy, Westerners will migrate to Africa for employment.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say, brother, that if everybody who's melanated were to down tools tomorrow and say, that's it, I'm not coming in to work today, everything would grind to a halt. If we only knew our power, if we only believed in ourselves, we could stop this right now. But there is a lot of fear. There's a lot of...
I want to make that as an appeal line. That it took one generation of white people, one generation, in the 16th, 17th, and 18th century. A group of white people who said, we're going to look for fortunes in Africa.
Yeah.
They packed their bags, carried their children, and came to Africa and colonized Africa.
Yeah.
It would take one generation of Africans who are in diaspora to say we're going back home to colonize ourselves.
Yep.
And your children will remember you as the grandmother who made that choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't think that I can go back to the continent known as Africa. I believe that I was visited by the continent and that her true name is Alkebulan. And she said to me that until we call her by her name, she will not rise. And that
on a sideline of that, just for the sake of the intelligent researchers, and then why do we call on Jesus, who never existed, and we expect him to answer our prayers? When the letter J appears 500 years ago, and we say this man was born 2,000 years ago, why do we call him by the wrong name and we think he will answer?
That's it. That's it. And further still, brother, why do we refer to our kidney, spleen, liver, heart? You know, these are not our names for our organs. So we can expect to become sick because we are not communicating with our bodies, with our technology. We do not know their names.
You are starting something very critical there.
I'm very, very certain that I have to finish it. I will start it and I will finish it.
Because our language speaks to the parts of the body and names trees and plants with our parts of the body. Is that not our pharmaceutical?
Yeah. 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 I have a darling brother in South Africa who says that, you know, sorry, continue, brother.
Language is a library of knowledge.
Yes.
Which connects the African, his health and his spirituality. And when you remove language, you take away that knowledge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I agree. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done if we are to know ourselves, which is what we have been instructed to do. Because we can't do anything if we are bound by a language that is not ours. On every level, we worship a white God until we return to source. How do you suggest that we do that as members of the diaspora?
For a start, the diaspora must come back home and put his hands in the ground and to scoop the portion of soil and put it in their mouth and register their DNA with the ground. Until that comes, this is a talk show. There's a difference between sacred knowledge and secret knowledge. Secret we don't tell you because you must not know.
Okay.
But sacred we only tell you when you're going to experience it.
Okay.
I thank you.
Okay. Sacred knowledge and secret knowledge. Okay. And I suppose then, would it matter what country in the diaspora, in Alkebulan, in the continent we visit?
It does not matter. Just come back home.
Okay. Okay.
Come back home.
Mm.
Can I just pop in here a minute? The brother said we should come back home, right? Now I'm just looking at it from the perspective of people that's been, obviously we've been brought over here and we've been here over 400 years. So that's generation after generation, brother. That's been learned. They don't know their language. They don't know nothing about themselves. They've been miseducated. Everything.
Stop right there.
Go on, brother.
When the white men came to Africa, did he know the language?
No.
So please don't become technical. Don't become technical.
No, I'm just saying. So because our people have been bred in England and America and all these, but a lot of them find it difficult to want to go back home because they haven't got a knowledge of themselves and exactly who they are as a people. The majority of us have been brought up and reared by a devil, in fact, somebody that doesn't look like us or have our cultural way of doing things.
I want to start with you.
Yeah, go on.
I want you to come to Zimbabwe. I will host you. I will keep you myself. I will walk with you. You on the program. Don't talk about people. Let me start with you.
Yes, sir.
So let's not make this complicated. Let's simplify it.
No, I'm just trying to look at it from our people's point of view.
I'm with you. Don't worry. I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it from. I myself, I can get up and go. I visit Africa regular. But what I'm saying is, I'm just looking at it from the point of view of our people. They feel comfortable here, but no matter how badly they've been treated, they still feel very comfortable and they don't want to go back home. So I'm just looking at it from their perspective. But I myself personally, I want to get out of here.
Go on. No comfort until before the end of the next 5-6 years, when the Africans will stop shipping equipment and raw material to Europe. Then you will know that you are not comfortable. The colonial system is collapsing, young men. It's collapsing. Put that on record.
It is the time of
the revolution that has started now will see Africans starting to do industrialization. And when we start industrializing, we will not be sending raw materials to you in Europe, but final products. Your jobs will collapse in Europe. Your jobs will collapse. So the raw material is no longer coming.
I agree with you, brother. All this has been prophesized.
Let me talk to you after that and see the comfort you're talking about. How comfortable. This is a prophetic voice that is warning you before things happen. That things are changing now. America is collapsing.
Yep.
Britain will collapse. Europe will collapse.
Yep.
Africa is the future. 80% of our population, if not 60%, is below the ages of 19 and 24. We're the youngest on the whole continent, with the biggest reserve of resources that are fueling the whole world. If you are African, I'm saying come back home, sit with your mother, position yourself for success. The next group of trillionaires and billionaires are not coming from Europe or America. They're coming from Africa.
Yeah, because I listened to Akon, and Akon said basically whatever you're doing in Europe, go back to Africa and do it, and you can be successful there. He said, just go back to Africa and do it, whatever you're doing in Europe. So just go back and build up your country. So I'm 100% behind that, brother. Go on, Sister LP.
Okay. I just want to know, Brother Joshua Maponga, is that
Maponga.
Maponga.
Thank
Is
you.
that invitation also open to me? Can I come to Zimbabwe? Will you host me, brother?
I want you here on the 4, 5, 6 of July. Next month. You come next month.
Okay, 4, 5, 6th of July.
You can come for my inauguration.
Oh, can you tell us more about that, please?
I'm coming to London on Wednesday. We can talk when I get back.
Ah, okay. Lovely. 4, 5, 6th of July. So, just going back to what we were saying before about this comfort, I agree with you. We believe we are in a state of comfort. We believe we have something to lose. We have nothing to lose here. This is not home. We do not belong here. We are not.
The white man was willing to risk with your continent. You can't risk for your continent. I can't understand you guys as Negroes and Black Americans and whatever you call yourselves. That a foreign person would come to Africa to start a generation of colonialists. You can't find guts in yourselves to come back here and restore yourselves. It's not even the white man. It was an economic move. For you, it's much more. It's economic, it's cultural, it's ethnic, it's spiritual. Still, you don't find the reason why you cannot come back to Africa.
I think it's fear. Sometimes it's fear that we may be too great. It's fear that we may find out who we are and not be able to comprehend how amazing we are as a people. Maybe that's what it is.
You're afraid of yourself.
I think many people are. I may be afraid of myself.
The question is, how many of you are in the studio right now?
2 of us. We're not together, but there's 2 of us.
Okay. The 2 of you come here. You come. I will host you myself. I'll pay for your accommodation, your full board and breakfast. You pay for your flights. You come here. Then you can do. I'll take you around. Then you can say what you want. At the continent, I'll take it the gold fields, I'll take it the uranium fields, I'll take it the platinum fields, lithium fields, I'll take it the tin fields, magnesium, bronze, copper, iron ore, coal, oil. You walk around the continent and then go back home and be poor.
I think we'll have to take him up on that offer, sister. We'll have to do.
I'm already there. I'm booking my flight. But it's true what our brother is saying. Unless we act, we will stay in a state.
Thank you, sister. Because I think I've done almost 150 plus shows of talk, Africa, diaspora, renaissance, repatriation, reparation, relocation, and people just talk. All it takes right now is for you to walk up to the bank, pay up all your debts in the next 6 months. When your debts are paid, walk up to the bank and say, I want 200,000 pounds. They give you 200,000 pounds, you come back here to open a tomato factory.
Right.
And start a life. It takes one person to make an intelligent decision and take that risk. That changes your genealogy and your DNA for another 3, 4, 5,000 years to come. You are the key to the future of your children and your grandchildren. You are. You, the 2 of you. I'm not even worried about the thousands of people that are listening to the show. You, the 2 of you. If you make that move in the next 5 to 6 years, you can rewrite your own history. And is that not your forefathers? When they were sitting and standing by the rivers of Tennessee and Mississippi and Santiago and Jamaica, and they were talking about crossing River Jordan, what were they talking about? They were talking about coming back home. Why not fulfill that dream for them? They are alive in you. They are buried in the graves, but they are living in you. Hence this fire that causes you to want to feel, to go, to travel, to restore them. So you're not restoring only yourself, you're also restoring your ancestors.
Yes. Yes. We're cleansing the bloodline.
Scoop the piece of grass or sand or soil from your grandfather's grave, bring it with you and put it back on the sand. Grandpa, I brought you back home. Tell me how you feel after that. Tell me how you feel after that. It doesn't matter where you put it. Under a tree, under a mango tree, a baobab tree, or you put it in the river, on a mountainside, or you find a cave somewhere where you say, Grandpa, I am back home. I brought you back home. Tell me from that day going onward that your life is the same.
Yeah, I know what the brother is saying, because when I first
this is African spirituality.
When I first went to the Gambia, go on.
Where we use the physical things to communicate the spiritual things. Where we use the things we can see, communicate with the things that we cannot. I thank you.
Yes, so I just say I can appreciate what the brother is saying, because when I first went back to the Gambia, which is about 35 years ago or something like that, and I changed my name, and something very spiritual happened to me when I landed on the soil. Something different happened to me. I've been to the Caribbean many a times, and that's never happened to me before. So I can understand what the brother is saying. There's something different about going to Africa, definitely. Go on, Sister LP.
Okay. Well, Brother Joshua Maponga, I will see you in July.
I'm seeing you not in July only. I'll see you when I come now, and then we'll make arrangements. You coming down to Africa. I will host you on my farm. You stay in my house. You drive my car. You come to my farm. You take off your shoes and walk the ground. And I'll send you back. Whatever you say after that, I don't mind. And I don't care. But at least you'll have experienced the essence of the soil itself. And some things we can teach, some things we must experience. That's sacred and secret. And African culture is sacred culture. So we don't teach circumcision. We don't teach childbirth. We don't teach burial rites. Those are sacraments which can only be experienced by those who must have the knowledge. So when the outsiders look at us, they may look at us suspiciously with funny eyes, but we know our story. We know our story, and we are not for sale. I was never enslaved or colonized by white men. Yes, I went to their schools, I went to their religion, etc. But I'm still on the ground here. So Pan-Africanism, until it understands that you can't be Pan-Africanist and yet you don't understand the African part. You understand the panning side of Africa, but you understand the indigenous side of Africa. And Pan-Africanism in the hand of democracy becomes a second-class citizen of colonialism, because they are still forcing us on the same system that colonized us. So you need to appreciate the indigenous knowledge first before you can pan-Africanize around it. But the ultimate goal is actually the indigenization of African governance. The coming back of diaspora has to do with regrounding, re-earthing, and reconnection of roots. And when that happens, then we can begin to look at what is it that we have lost, and what is it that we can take from those that have colonized us and build a hybridized environment which is aware of the technological. Hence, we're on internet now, and you are lucky. I can speak English even sometimes better than some of you guys.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm sorry to have to cut in there, brother, but we need to advertise the dates. They're coming up to the top of the hour. So can we advertise the dates and where you're going to be taking place?
Yeah.
Go on, sister.
Okay, so our brother Joshua Maponga will be in Bristol. He'll be in Manchester, Birmingham, London, and this is for the African Liberation Day. I believe it's the anniversary, isn't it? We've got some dates here, and I will quickly run through those dates for you. But you can contact us at the studio and we can give you more information. Bristol on the 24th of May, 2 till 9 p.m. We have Manchester on the 25th of May, 4 until 8 p.m. We have London on the 1st of June, that's Sunday, and that's in Tottenham. And we have the 26th of May. Our brother will be in, bear with me a second, I'm just, Birmingham. Okay, also joined by Professor James Small, who will be speaking about the leaders of America. When I say the leaders, I mean Malcolm X, I mean Martin Luther King and the like. Brother, it's been life-changing speaking with you this evening. We will remain in contact. The show is actually due to finish now, so we have to say goodbye, even though I'd love to speak to you for longer.
Thank you very much, brother, for and don't forget.
I'm not done yet. I was just getting started.
The advert's gonna kick in. The advert's gonna kick in. And don't forget, tomorrow is Malcolm X's birthday. He would have been 100 years old tomorrow if he had lived tomorrow. So this show was supposed to be about Malcolm X as well, but I'll have to leave it till next week, next round. Right?
Do a special program for Malcolm X and tell us his age according to his cycle of 9 months.
That's right.
I would love to hear how old is Malcolm X tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! That's what we'll do, brother. Thank you once again, brother. I'm telling you, it's been a wonderful experience talking to you. So sorry, but we have to cut it there. So we'll get in touch, right, Sister LP? Can you just sign off, please?
Yes, thank you. Can we have an African word for thank you, please?
Sinotenda, siyabonga. That's Zulu. Kiyaleboka. That's Tswana Pedi. Ndolibuwa. That's Venda. Sikomo Kwambiri. That's Malawian. Ikenza Ngopu. That's Shangani. Oh, the list goes on. But every one of those words you have taken out of yourselves. We are returning back to you the same energy.
Thank you.